welcome back, guys. We've got that second best of 3 here, the lower bracket, Luminosity versus Elevate, and Elevate there still setting up. Spangler helping him out. But yeah, so we've got myself, Helium, and Launders now. We're down here on the analyst desk, and I'm actually really looking forward to the Dust and Misled cast. It's going to be sick to mix things up.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting, and it's nice to be down here for once, obviously with my buddy and friend, Helium. And I think the first thing that we're going to look at today is a player-to-player analysis. In this matchup, obviously, is going to be Luminosity and Elevate, and the first two people that we're going to want to compare right here are Roka and Flom. Anything that stands out to you right off the bat?
Well, I mean, Roka is just an insane player. Like, we've seen him on Cash. Like, he's got great game sense. Like, he doesn't even have to see people to kill them. He's gunning down people through smokes. He's getting people through that squeaky door on Cash, like, round after round. On either side, CT or T.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And then Flom is obviously just an insane opper, and we can actually look at those stats. Look at the efficacy here. It's they're both very, very close. Not even one efficacy apart.
Within 0.1 of each other. Roka sporting that 11.88 efficacy over the last season, and Flom with the 11.87. So going neck and neck. I mean, a great two players to compare. I think one of the differences, though, that is because Flom picks up the op, he's got a much better KDR, 1.14 over the 1.026 of Roka's. And a big difference there as well is that since Roka is going to be doing more of the entry work for his team, he's also at risk of dying more often. But by that same token, if he's a good entry fragger, he's also dying less. That being said, going with the flip side of that one more time is that you can get 2 entries, and if you continue to take fights, you also die. But overall, having a very good season so far and putting up a lot of kills for his team, doing the entry frag role really well. Now, I know he splits that responsibility with Rush, who obviously has insane accuracy. I think yesterday it was just like Rush would see someone, they would get dinked, and they wouldn't die. And a lot of the kills were failures in that sense, and that's why we saw a little bit of struggle from the part of Elevate.
Yeah, and looking at Roka, I mean, on that first map, we saw them play up against CLG, where they really did get off to a slow start on that CT side, but Roka did great there. He did have the highest efficacy on the team. Third highest kills was 17. He got 5 first kills. So, I mean, he's a big player. He can open things up for them. And Flom, man, with that op. But not only Flom, like Frost can do it too. So any map with a double op setup, like we talk a lot about Mirage being that map. I don't know if we'll see it between these two teams, but...
No, so I don't know. It seems like from between the matchup, we've seen Elevate try to go for these pug-style maps. I think it's what everybody kind of knows, the secret that's out in the open in terms of map picks here. Because of the pug-style play that they're going to have to involve themselves in, we have, Hiko calling for a team that he's never practiced with, and so doesn't want to jump into the complicated maps. We've talked to him, and he wants to even avoid a map, it's like a medium difficulty, I'd say, like Mirage, right? And that's something that was brought up. So, like, we probably won't see Nuke, even though I think a couple players on the team are interested in playing that map. Hiko thinks it's not a great idea.
I'm interested in watching that map.
Yeah,
personally, like, Nuke is going to be gone for a little while. It's taking a little break. It's spring break for the maps. Valve probably going to remodel it, or at least that's what everyone seems to think. And since it was in Season 6, it is still going to be able to be picked up here. So I'd love to see that.
Yeah, and so on Nuke, the thing is that if it's the CT sides that are struggling, right, then they could just play a little bit more aggressively and hit those entries on T side like they're so used to doing, right? And just play that CT side a little bit more aggressively. And I think that's a part of Hiko's plan here, is to use his players as T-sided players throughout the maps. I think it's a great idea. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it seems risky on paper, something you might not want to do in a very important match, but if the CT side is falling apart anyway, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I'm sure those two players that are like, hey, Hiko, pick Nuke.
Yeah,
that's probably Roka and Rush, because like they're the only 2 really surviving members that played in the playoffs. And honestly, they abused Nuke as a map in those playoffs. They played Nuke like 6 times.
No, for sure. Yeah, they actually did. And if Nuke is your best map, I mean, you should definitely do it. Now, the thing is that the executions, it comes down to the finer details when you want to have like a 5-man execute on upper. You've got to throw the perfect flashes. People have to execute at the right time, and that might be what Hiko is most worried about. But you still have other options on the T side. As FNS pointed out, you only actually have 5 or 6 rifle rounds, right? And if you use those in 1 or 2 spots, it might not be that predictable. Like you can go outside, for example, which is a very T-sided area. I'd say one of the more T-sided areas, even though the map wholly is very CT-sided. It gives you a lot of options. You can jump on Twinkie. You can cross red with some good smokes that 2 people know. Definitely 2 people know these smokes on this team. Get to secret and have a lot of control and still just rely on your aim. So even though the maps are a little bit harder, I think if they really are confident playing Nuke, I would like to see them do it. And that might be a little bit selfish considering Nuke it would be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, so we got to look at the players that are all sitting down. And while Luminosity was on the screen, I wanted to say, I mean, the one player to talk about really is, well, they dropped off Hades. They picked up Arya, bringing him over from Area 51. Good thing for him because that team was not able to qualify in the Season 7 qualifiers to get into the Pro Division. And yeah, what do you think? Like, is he leading this team fine? I mean, they had 2 rough games, Cash and Dust 2, and they lost by a pretty big margin, 16-7 and 16-9.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point that you bring up with Arya because that means that both of these teams have replacement IGLs. I mean, even though Arya is not just a stand-in like Hiko is, he's in the exact same position in terms of the amount of time that they've had to prep for this LAN and these matches, and that's all we're worried about here today, right? So with that in mind, I mean, you might think that the map picks are not that important. What do you think?
Perhaps. I mean, I am thinking it's still probably we're just going to see the Cash and Dust 2.
Yeah.
The only thing that maybe gets a little crazy is if one team is like, you know what, let's just ban Cash, and that's going to force out one of the more teamwork-oriented maps, like Mirage, maybe even a randomized train or something like that.
And the likelihood for a third map?
We haven't seen a third map yet.
I know, that's so true.
And the third map's always, well, it's been Dust 2 in the case of the last one, but the third map is always going to be something you don't want to play. It's randoming overpass, cobble, or train, or nuke, more than likely. Maybe Mirage, I think we had random once.
So I think if we had to work back and just look at the bans before the picks, we could probably see a very complicated map like Overpass. It's hard to be coordinated on. Maybe ban that. Season could be taken off the board.
Oh yeah, it's Season. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Season might be another one. Hiko said he definitely doesn't want to play it. Luminosity, I think we're okay with their picks yesterday, but if you look at the matches and how they played out, you might think there was a discrepancy between the way they felt about the maps and how they actually did. One thing that they did have going for them, though, is really solid T sides, though. So, I mean, I might be completely wrong about that. And the fact that they can look back at their own game tape, I think it's more valuable to them than it is to somebody watching because they made so many mistakes that if they fix things internally and change it up, it might be a mistake to actually just watch the demo and think, okay, we have this team figured out.
Yeah, and every team's going to need to do that. As you heard Finesse there in that interview with Puckett saying, like, if you go back and look at every key round, like, a player made a big mistake. So they're going to have to go back and review, and that's going to make them maybe very dangerous. But of course, you know, you got to get Fast and the Furious 7 out of the way.
Yeah.
IGN said it was the best one of the series.
Priorities, Helio.
Like, if they invited me, I probably would have just went with them. Yeah. Like, but no, I'm here. CEVO Season 6 LAN. And actually, I think the Vito's going to get started. Rush there, the captain on the roster and Lex, but not really reflecting who the in-game leaders are. And some player cams there. As we can see, it looks like still warming up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure both teams have a pretty good idea of what they want to do. And the first map banned by Luminosity is Dust 2. So now we can kind of see where their head's at.
What? Elevate, think they're going to take out Cash?
Yeah,
killing the chances of that map coming up in every single series.
There we go. And that might be in line, if they are on the same train of thought, that might be in line with what the maps that would be most exciting to watch could be. And we'll see if they do want to ban Cash. I think Elevate want to stick to what they know. So the only maps left over here, I think Hiko mentioned Inferno as an option, though he said that, you know, T-side can get ugly. We just saw CLG versus Nihilum where T-sides were abysmal on a map that it actually warrants it to some degree, maybe not the degree that we saw it, where you only get 2 rounds, but to definitely a high degree. And it looks like Mirage is going to be banned from Elevate. So that's pretty interesting.
This isn't fair. We get put to the analyst desk right when we get new maps.
New maps? What is this?
I don't know. I think this is hashtag rigged. And actually, speaking of hashtag, guys, I see 100% for Luminosity, so I'm thinking that's maybe not a big sample size. So maybe go ahead and tweet your answer, or who you think is going to win at MLG with the hashtag MLG Pro League Champs, and hashtag either Elevate or hashtag Luminosity. Show your support for your fan here in North American CS and
Luminosity.
Maybe. If
Maybe.
they can take that first
yeah,
map.
maybe. Yeah, that might be an eventuality, but coming into these picks, looks like some thinking is still going on here. They're still trying to make these decisions based off of the ban that they saw, and that might mean that Dust 2 was something that was in their sights. And I wouldn't blame them. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I don't think Luminosity want to put themselves in a position where they're going up against a team that's very similar to Nihilum in terms of, you know, being ADR monsters, having that aim, and playing a map out that is very reliant on entry frags and less so on smokes and coordination. Huge individual plays can be made on Dust 2, not so much on other maps, and they don't want to leave that. They don't want to leave that as a loose end.
All right, and there it is. It's going to be Inferno, and I believe you said Hiko was even thinking about picking it.
Yeah.
So he's maybe not too rustled off of that pick being Inferno.
Yeah, no, he is probably pretty happy. I think that's a very good map for Elevate as well. Honestly, the T side, it might be difficult. The thing is that Luminosity love this map because, again, they're full of oppers. They have Frost, they have Flom, and Lex can pick an op too at mid-round, even though he's not buying them typically. So that's why they might want to pick Inferno. But we might see that same problem happen again, where Luminosity were getting their money broken. You know, as soon as they saved up enough money for this double op setup, get punished immediately for it, are unable to hang on to their ops, go back into double saves, and are never able to build up a bank. So unless they get off to an early start, it's going to be difficult for them. And the other thing was that Luminosity weren't winning those pistol rounds, not giving them that buffer.
I mean, I think if this is the time to see Nuke, Elevate.
There's never been another doubt.
Maybe gonna pick it here. But you still, with a map like Nuke, when you pick it, you do have to start on the T side. And all right, they're gonna stay with Cash.
Okay.
They've played it before. And I mean, playing arguably the best team here, CLG on it.
Yeah.
They did very well on that comeback.
They
and
did,
actually,
yeah.
well, this third map, it has to be either Nuke, Overpass, or Season, but I'm actually not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, leaving a lot of room for the individual plays with Cash, I think, is a great idea. And they're sticking to their bread and butter here. Don't want to venture off too much, and it makes a lot of sense. I think the picks are justified. It's going to be interesting to see Inferno and see if that really does favor Luminosity, if that's actually going to be something that is going to benefit them in a great way. And a lot to be said as the maps play out. Do you think that this warrants some Preds right now because the picks are out?
Well, I'd love to know what the third map was.
Oh, yeah,
but I guess
that's to be said. That's true.
Based on the past, we're probably not even going to see a third map.
I know, I know.
I don't know. Also, based on that, whoever gets the first should get the second, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if stats really work like that. But
yeah, no.
All right, so predictions on Inferno. It's Luminosity to pick that one. I feel like that's not really a map that you necessarily want to double op on. I mean, I guess
Cash?
you could post.
They tried to do
on Inferno. That's
on
the first
Inferno.
one. I mean,
No,
you
they
could do middle and down B, but that seems really greedy.
No,
for
I mean, you
CT.
don't even need an op on Inferno. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you could have 5 riflers and just lock down that arch. It's just as simple. We saw Peter, you know, get pushed out of his spots constantly.
Like almost every round he got flashed, and
Exactly.
luckily he had that Molotov. So
Yeah,
he was
you're going to have
chucking
to deal with smokes. You're going to have to deal with counter flashes. And so it's not even always favorable to actually have an op. And so the thing is, they're going to want to implore one, but having 2 is probably not a great idea, as you mentioned. The thing is that B is just as viable as opting at A, and that's the thought, possibly. But having 1 at each site is probably not the greatest idea. Now, the thing is that they can do something similar to Nihilum, who had one of the most superior CT setups that we've seen so far on Inferno, and that's by, you know, smoking down Banana and having one player staged up. Having an op staged up by himself can be even more powerful than, you know, even automatic, even though he was doing a great job rifling. Getting those 2 kills is much less amazing with an op because they're more handed to you than anything else.
And we had the Scar 20 for at least 1 round. I believe it was Valens using that one.
But unfortunately, Peter looked at, or Tarek looked at him and he died.
Yeah. And how funny it was a map Inferno, and we had the Molotovs and some very key rounds there. The one clutch over in the A site. So maybe we'll get to see that again. But I guess we gotta stop skating the issue here. The predictions.
I know, I know.
Well, I want to see 3s. Luminosity. I don't know. I think Elevate's gonna take Inferno as well. Hiko was thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that
maybe
just plays
they're
slightly into
plugging
their
a
hand.
little bit.
And
I'd like
Luminosity
to see it
are
close.
obviously trying to pick. If they had that knowledge, right, they probably wouldn't have picked Inferno. I'm sure they had another map or 2, you know, in their thoughts. And if they knew for even a moment that Luminosity were gonna, or that Elevate actually were considering playing Inferno, they probably would have avoided it for another harder option, you could say. So I think it will definitely be a tough map for them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go say 16-10 for Elevate on
Cash,
on Inferno,
Uh-huh.
which was Luminosity's pick, and then for their pick, which was Cash. I mean, we saw how much of a comeback they did mount against CLG, so I think they'll take that as well.
Yeah.
And Luminosity even struggled on Cash against Nihilum.
Right.
But now, as I say that, like, Nihilum's already proven that they're so strong, and it's like not even really a thing to say.
Yeah. And we have news that the third map is going to be Season.
Yes. So will we get to see the pretty Kyoto laboratory?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I think Season. The thing is that if it goes to 3 maps now, I think Season probably favors Luminosity a little bit because Hiko was like, no, we do not want to play Season. So as a third map, as a random third map for them, I think that isn't great. But the thing is, as we mentioned, Inferno maybe being a tough map for Luminosity means that there's likelihood of a 2-0. So would you say that if it does go to a third map, it's a possibility for a 2-1 Luminosity, and if it doesn't, it's most likely a 2-0 for Elevate?
I don't know. Luminosity, though, you're saying Luminosity, you're going to feel they're better on Season?
We're going to give the first map. We're going to give the first map to Elevate, right? And then Inferno, we're saying, is possibly a bad map choice for Luminosity because Elevate might be okay. And again, you got to go up against Skadoodle, who really loves Inferno. I mean, among every other map in the pool, but it's probably going to have a good time on it. And then, going to a third map, I think if Hiko really didn't want to play it, obviously it's all talk right now, but going off just their confidence alone, they might have a bad time playing a map that difficult. T-side can be difficult, right? T-side can be difficult, and it's the more favored side.
The rotate's so long on CT as well, and it makes CT side hard to pug, even at a high level, just because if your communication drops for a second, like a second on top of a 10-second rotate is a lot. Like, that's more than a third or about a third of the bomb timer once it's planted. So
you got to have practice for sure. Yeah, and the other thing is that, like, if you don't have, you're moving around pretty much on CT side like a terrorist, because you're never going to have a static defense where you have 2 players on one side, 2 players on the other side, and 1 person in mid. You never want to do that on Season, and so they constantly have to be using their mind to make these adjustments based on very little information, and that can take a lot of experience to even know who's supposed to rotate or how far they're supposed to rotate, or if they're supposed to take a stop at vents and peek it, and that's going to be a really difficult decision for them throughout the map. So, okay, that's my prediction at least. I'm trying to force it on you, but
force it on me. I say 2-0 Elevate. That's my prediction.
2-0 Elevate, yeah. And I'm saying if Elevate, and if it doesn't go 2-0, it's 2-1 Luminosity. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, I like it.
Because I think they'll have a good time on Season.
Yeah, Season, though, the CT side, like you said, can be very dynamic. You can play very aggressive towards middle, which I feel like kind of has a similarity with Cash. Yeah. Because, like, you control middle, and then you can troll those longer rotates. Like, you can go quick through the vents, you can flank through T-spawn to B, just go right on the catwalk into A. Right. If you happen to give up Horseshoe. So we'll see what it comes to. Yeah,
also another op-friendly map as well. And the double op setup, or even the op and auto sniper setup, when you have a really op-friendly map like that, that's so big, and it's so nice if you can leave 1 person at a site, that really welcomes the op, right? We see that on Mirage and Season as well. So if you can have 1 person pushed upper with an op at B, then you can leave him alone for the majority of the time and put a lot of people over towards A, and maybe op mid as well. So
yeah, I don't know if op mid would even happen on Season.
Right, because you're just going to get smoked out,
one that changes to the ops, and the timings of who gets there first is actually really spawn dependent.
Yeah, but because the changes of the spawns as well. Yeah. CT should be getting there first most of the time. The one thing about the new Season that wasn't available in the old one is you can get out mid, you can throw 2 nades, right? And then you can pull your gun out, and that's when the terrorists peak if you have the best spawns. Now with the randomized spawns, it's kind of hard to say, but
well, taking a look there at Hiko with the Hiko homies cap.
Yes.
Keeping it locked down. His car's here as well.
Yes.
Hiko plates.
Shout out to Hiko's car.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
He's got a Hiko license plate on his Charger.
But looking at his stats here, so we see a good ADR there of, I'll round up for him, why not? 85, positive KDR, so everything you really want to look for. I mean, when Hiko kills someone, he kills someone else. Like, look at that, 6 3Ks.
Right, yeah, well said, well said. Rarely has he held the site and only got 1 for it. He's very, very reliable. Because of his spray, it's so disgusting to get at least 2 kills when it's required of him. So
it'll be up to him, though, at B. Like, in that first CLG on Cash, we saw him actually not hold the site as the Lone Ranger very well. Yeah. And so he had a couple good rounds there, but more or less he was giving it up, and they were playing retake.
Oh, that might be another thing. Today Actually, someone I know brought him a FK1 because
yeah,
he wasn't
talked about
using
that.
his mouse yesterday, so that might make a difference. Hiko using his mouse
Very specific
might
mouse.
allow him to get that second and third
It
kill.
was the FK Yellow, I believe,
The
right?
FK yellow, yes.
So if you ever go to a esports trivia bowl or quiz bowl at your local bar,
Yeah.
one day that'll happen.
What mouse does Hiko
What
use?
mouse does Hiko use? You will know. But hey, we want to give you guys stuff as well. So you can look at this daily giveaway. The code word for this flip knife is hashtag CEVO flip knife. And of course, shout out to the winner, Sneet, who's getting the battle scarred Cyrex. My tip to you is buy a rename tag and call it the Miley Cyrex.
The Miley Cyrex, yes. The classic best name
Pretty much.
in the game.
And the flip knife is pretty sick. Actually, what's the inspect on the flip knife? I don't even...
It's like you put it up like a toothpick, right? As Pronex calls his flip knife the toothpick, and you just you turn it back and forth. You kind of wave it like the queen.
And it, obviously, I'm assuming it flips out when you do it. It's
yeah,
nice.
it pops out, pokes someone in the eye.
I like my Huntsman. He do a little MLG 360 flip and catch it. It's
Mountain
nice.
Doritos.
Yes, as you munch on those snacks. All right, well, I see the players in the server. When you talk about Hiko on Cash, who was playing A for them?
On Cash?
On Cash.
It was you made me think of Hiko playing B.
Well, Roka is
Oh,
got
it
to
was
be
Rush. It was Rush. Rush was
Yeah.
playing Fence, and Rush was playing the Sight Box. They even had a situation where they had Rush and Hiko both at quad, and that worked out really well because you can like bait each other and also not allow people to know that you're actually playing two there. And so they had Rush. I expect to see Rush over at Fence, locking down the A side, dedicated man there.
And as always, we got Roka through the door.
Yeah,
at
through
A.
the door.
It's great. He
Yeah.
really likes to open up that site or hold down that site.
Going squeaky every single round.
But we can look here at Frost and had some sick op shots yesterday. Efficacy around 10.
Yeah.
ADR a little low. What is this like? You got a C in your class? This is like your average.
Honestly, I feel
pro
like
ADR.
Yeah, I feel like Frost is in a Peter position in that sense, and that we saw him play yesterday, and like, yeah, he didn't hit every shot in the world. When he was put in those clutch situations, though, he looked supremely comfortable, and he hit insane shots constantly. So, he had a couple rounds to his name. I expect him to have a very high game impact, and despite what his stats say, and I think kill-wise, we can expect him to perform better as well. I'm sure he wasn't happy with his performance and is used to playing a lot better overall. But I think if everybody said yesterday on Luminosity that they picked the map, they knew what was going to happen, and even though they knew what was going to happen, they couldn't stop it. Nihilum came out swinging, and they couldn't do anything about it. So. With that being said, if Luminosity have kind of ironed out those kinks, feel a little bit more confident, feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe can play like themselves or actually feel like it, it can really make some waves.
Yeah, I want real quick right before we set it up. I just wanted to say Frost with 12 op kills yesterday when they were going up against Nihilum. Let's see if he can replicate it here. And up to the desk with Dust and Misled. Guys, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. As you can tell, we are not Launders and Helium anymore. I'm Misled. This is Dustin. Are you ready to get casting? Finally.
Yeah, dude, let's do this, buddy. Ready? No?
So let's get into this first pistol round right now. Elevate versus Luminosity Gaming about to go live. And this is going to be exciting here. Let's see what Elevate can bring to the table as counter-terrorist, and Luminosity will be your terrorist-sided team.
Yes, let's see what they have planned here. I mean, this is a map that they picked, but they've actually struggled on it. They lost to Elevate in the regular season of CEVO, lost to Nihilum in the online playoffs, and they've also recently got dealt the loss on this map by Liquid during the Alienware tournament. So even though they picked this map, the results don't back up that pick, and we heard from the analysts how Elevate actually kind of wanted to play this. So the only thing I can think of is unless Arya's been drilling them on this map, and so now they've practiced it. But I don't know. We're going to have to see here as they are about to possibly engage this B-bomb site with 3 stack.
Yeah, they're going to go right into it. Rush is, of course, going to be right there around the corner. Hiko is also there. Counter flashes and smokes going out. Roka will take down Arya right off the bat. Hiko tries to push towards Emo as Flom will take down Rush. Trades all going in favor of neither of the teams at the moment. They're both going to have 2 alive. Frost down to 1 HP, though. Anger is still up with 81, and Desi and Skadoodle will be on that 2-man retake as Bomb goes down, and there goes Frost. So Anger in a 1 versus 2. Skadoodle pushing towards him. Anger's got to try and get this first frag here on Skadoodle. Can he get him? Skadoodle runs away wisely and allows Desi to get up close. So now one will get onto the bomb, and it's all going to be up to Anger here, and Desi absolutely tears him apart. First round will go to Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, great pistol round execution there from Luminosity to get the bomb down, but an equally impressive retake there at the very end. You know, a couple of nice kills from Roka, a couple from Skadoodle, and then Desi, of course, closing out there at the very end. So Elevate able to get that pistol round. And looks like Luminosity, you know, probably not going to do a whole lot here buying. They want to be able to buy fully next round. So just a couple of, you know, luxury pistols, so to speak, but nothing heavy.
Yeah, that would have been a huge round for Luminosity to get there, start things rolling in their favor, because they are on the harder side of this map right now.
Right, so we're just kind of see what Luminosity wants to do. We see them starting to gather up a little bit here in the alt mid, but the bomb is still sitting at T stairs, so this leads me to believe that they might try to run back to B after, you know, pulling a rotation or something like that. They seem to be looking for some type of maybe fake back to B.
Just waiting it out here will be Team Elevate. They have that gun advantage right now, so all they have to do is sit back and wait. Frost actually takes a ton of damage, and Desi steps up into the apartments, able to get himself 3 as Rush takes down the final 2. Frost and Arya, 3K for Desi, 2K for Rush, and Elevate will hold on in that anti-eco.
Yeah, they try to just crush through the apartments, but yeah, big ump play there from Desi, pretty much just, you know, stripping them down, just running them through a blender, and they didn't really have a chance to do anything at that point, no matter what their decision was going to be. So we are going to see that AK buy, though, now from Luminosity, and this is going to be their chance to try to take a stab early in this game.
Yeah, they got that first round plant, so they have the money to be able to get this AK off, and only one player not rocking the AK. That's going to be Arya. Rolling the Galil right now, but full armor across the board. They got some utility nades, using quite a bit now to try and force their way up mid. All stacked up in that mid area, working out of alt mid, and they're going to commit to it. They're going to go right up into Rush, though, and Desi is there for the trade-out frag, but Arya comes out on top, but a touchdown grenade.
Yeah, man, you have a 3v3 right now. Skadoodle trying to hold it down with the scout inside the site. Does get the bomb carrier down. Great kill there, but Anger trades it right back. He will collect this bomb, and he will look for the bomb plant here in the 2 versus 2 as Roka and Hiko look to close the distance. Hiko has that auto shotty, so he's got to get in there if he wants to make that effective right now, as they are getting held off, though, by some nice counter flashes, and now Anger throws up the smoke on middle as well, but they're going to try to run through it with some flashes coming in. Hiko does still get held back, but Roka gets the kill onto Anger, snouts off the Frost, holding it at the truck, and he can't do it. Roka, big play there. He will be able to get the defuse, and they will prevent that early buy from having any impact.
Yeah, Luminosity was able to get that bomb planted, though, so they're going to get a little economy boost from that. But Roka coming in big right there with that AK to be able to get those frags, stop Luminosity from eventually winning that round, or possibly winning the round, I should say. And Luminosity, as you can see, economy's not horrible. It is cheaper to be a terrorist, so at least look for a pistol buy coming from them.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to go ahead and get some of those Rec 9s right now, and obviously still very, very powerful, even post-nerf, especially if you can close the distance. I know it did get nerfed as far as the damage you can deal from distance, but still dangerous up close, especially against rifles. So we'll see if they can't put that to use. But we see Desi, you know, getting some aggressive peeks, trying to get some info, but not finding it quite yet.
Oh, nice flashbang there. Desi's able to step out, get one, get a second frag. Rush comes out behind the smoke, able to get himself a frag. And Skadoodle with a nice off headshot onto Frost. Now it's all Anger once again by himself. Can't bring it home. Rush will pull out the pistol and eventually get that frag. Elevate will be up 4-0.
Yeah, so this is, you know, Luminosity's next chance to try to make something happen. They finally are back on guns, and their first stab at it did not quite work out. They eventually got taken down by a retake from Roka and company at that A bomb site. So we'll see what they might have in their toolbox here to bring out, because they do not want to allow Elevate to get to a crazy early lead. I mean, you expect double-digit CT rounds, but you don't want them to get it so quickly and just kind of decimate any type of, you know, leeway you might be able to get into the game.
Yeah, Skadoodle right off the bat into round 5, already pushed up to the car, working that off. Oh, Desi's got to get aggressive in the apartments. Can he get both frags? Not able to. Anger will be there to trade out for Arya, and now we're going to be on to a 4-on-4 as Elevate is still trying to hold on here and not let Luminosity pick up a single round.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. They did get that even exchange. That was, you know, Desi getting out there, getting aggressive. He loves to do that type of stuff, but at least Anger was able to minimize the damage by getting the trade and getting it back to a 4-on-4. Skadoodle now, the solo banana hold with the op. He loved to do this with iBuy power, and he's doing it here and now to get that early rotation for Elevate over at the A-bomb site. Roka spins in the smoke, finds the kill onto Lex, and that is a free frag you do not want to give. At least Flom's able to trade it, but we are going to come into the later part of the round in a 3 versus 3, and I'm curious what Luminosity's thinking here. It seems like they want to engage this A still.
Yeah, good thing here coming from Luminosity, though, is they're able to trade those frags out and keep it at an even game. It's 3-on-3 still. They have the advantage in this A bomb site right now because at max, you know there's only going to be 2 players in A because one should still be at B just in case Luminosity tries to wrap backwards. But time is ticking down here. Hiko will be the first man in the site, and Flom takes him down. Gun battle ensues. That's going to be Rush from the pit. Can he get a frag? That nade almost takes him out, but he does take down Frost, so he's going to be the last line of defense at that A bomb site as Skadoodle is forced to have that long banana rotate over to A.
Yeah, he's coming up with that op still, and Rush was at least able to get a kill. Anger's really hurt inside the graveyard, so if they can find him, maybe they can make it happen. Skadoodle might spot him with the Deagle as he does come up the lane. He's actually going to throw a nade into the site. Does he spot Anger? Yes, he does. He gets the op kill. Now it's going to be off the Flom in the back corner. He steps up. He grabs the headshot. Can he grab the last one? No, Skadoodle will grab the pistol kill. It appears he'll have enough time to defuse as well. So 5-0 for Elevate. What a game so far.
Yeah, that was a good job. As I said, Luminosity trading out those frags well, keeping it down to a close game. Eventually got the man inside the site, which was Hiko, down out of the way. Got that bomb plant, and Rush was just sitting in the pit, playing it extremely smart. That's good Counter-Strike knowledge right there. Not forcing the issue. You know you have a teammate alive. Let him rotate over. Just sit there. They're having to think about you and worry about you, and that's going to put a little bit less pressure on the fact that Skadoodle's on the long rotate. You know he's coming from somewhere, so they have to worry about pit instead of looking down towards mid, possibly the library, or coming out that arch.
Right, so we are going to see LG, pretty much on a max loss bonus here, so they're able to, get that $3,400 and still get these AKs, but they are, having to find something. They haven't quite closed out a round yet. They need something to work right now, and so far Elevate's just been, an iron wall they just can't seem to get past right now, but right now they're just kind of slowly gathering up in mid. They got a couple players in apartments, and right now they're just looking for any kind of opening, but so far they haven't found one.
Yeah, not working too hard on it yet. Most aggressive position on the board right now is going to be Anger, pushed up a little far. I mean, Arya and Lex are both in the apartments right now. Smoke is going to go down towards the arch side. Maybe they're going to execute out. Looks like 3 men will execute that direction. Rush gets one. Lex is there on the trade out, though, so it's going to be a 4-on-4. And they're still trying to work it into the nope. They're going to drop back off of this. Smart rotate here. They pulled it. 3 players from CT side over towards that A bomb site, but Roka's kind of leaning back. He doesn't know if he wants to fully commit to this yet, and Hiko with a nice counter smoke at the top of Banana as it fades away, so he's going to be the last line of defense. Here's the noise. He's going to throw a flashbang. He's going to call for the rotate. Gets that Molotov down in the way to prevent that fast push, and Hiko gets Frost. Now it will be a 3-on-3.
Yeah, we're going to have Lex here trying to see if he can't backstab. He does catch that rotation, so he has a 3 versus 2 now as they're still looking at Banana, but now they actually, since they got that pick, they're bringing the bomb back, but Anger will stay. He will get caught, but he's still got the time. You see the 10 seconds there. He's going to have about 5 seconds left on this plant, and Hiko and Roka are going to have to see if they can't make the retake here. Flom going to get the plant, like I said, with about, a few seconds left on the clock, as we do have Hiko and Roka coming through CT spawn to Arch, and they're trying to see if they can't keep this shutout going, get that 6-0 lead, or can Luminosity finally put a point on the board?
Yeah, this is going to be the round if they can do it right here. It's going to be a 2-man retake attempt coming from Elevate. Already pushing up. Roka is in that moto pit right now. He's still trying to work the shots there over the top of the box. Flom playing it well, moving back and forth, not making an easy shot. Here comes Hiko, and he goes down to Lex, and now it's going to be a 1 versus 1. Roka versus Lex. Lex is in a good position in the pit to defend this. Roka only with 19 HP. All the pressure is on him. Lex steps out and gets the shot, and Luminosity is now on the board. And that was actually an ace right there for Lex. Nonetheless, gets the ace clutch to give Luminosity their first round.
Yeah, it was kind of a quiet ace. Like, you didn't really see it coming because at first his main objective was just to hold off rotations for a B execute. But once he got all those kills and they were still getting held off at B, they just fell right back. And then Lex in the post plant able to come up big there and actually puts an ace on the board. That's actually his only 5 kills so far this game out of 6 rounds played. So, stepping up when he really needed to when that Elevate lead was starting to get to a pretty big number.
Yeah, I mean, if you only have 5 kills on the board, it might as well be from an ace clutch, and that's exactly what Luminosity did there. Lex pulling it down. Now it's up to them. They've reset their loss bonus. They have to get another round in a row, otherwise they're going to be back to square one off a 1-round loss bonus, which is not helping you in any way, shape, or form.
No, not at all. I mean, not when that loss bonus is only going to be, $1,400. I mean, that's not going to be good, especially since they're bought down to, under 1K for 4 of their players. So, yeah, this could be a definite situation where Elevate can turn this thing right back around and get 2 in a row if they can secure this one here. As we are seeing Luminosity gather up at mid. They're trying to come out, but Desi boosted up on the awning. Will get 1, and Rush is able to make a trade from under, but it's still going to turn into a 3 versus 3 here, as Luminosity is still kind of hammering away at mid. But a lot of time left, and they have some options here, but they run to Skadoodle's op, but he misses. They're going to chase him down at lane. He misses another, and now he's just getting swarmed from balcony and from truck, trying to stay alive, but Frost catches him, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 3.
Yeah, Hiko and Roka are going to be on this 2-man retake attempt here. As that bomb goes down, smoke comes out from Luminosity to shut down Moto Pit plays there from Hiko. So now him and Roka are both kind of working in that direction towards Moto. Yeah, they're both going to commit to it here. Counter flashes come out. Anger in a great position in the pit. Step into the site, and they both get frags. Flom and Frost are down. Anger in the pit. He has to play this perfectly. Gets the first frag. Now a 1 versus 1. Hiko was on the bomb for a second. Jumps up onto it, and Hiko gets the clutch 1 versus 1 and the 2K to reset that loss bonus for Luminosity and put Elevate back up 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that round's pretty much worth 2 from Elevate just because of the economic situation Luminosity put themselves in by having such a tough first few rounds before finally putting one up and not being able to follow up into anything afterwards. So it looks like Elevate should be able to continue to increase that lead here early in this first half of Inferno. And Luminosity definitely struggling here. Outside of that big ace play from Lex that got him around, that they've really not been able to do a whole lot. Now, Grant, there have been some small number of situations throughout the game, these 2v2s and 3v3s, but Elevate's come up with pretty much all of them, except for that 1 round from Lex.
Yeah, Luminosity right now, they still have time to get this going in. Skadoodle opens up round number 8 with a nice off shot there on a light buy coming from Luminosity. And
getting
the
that money.
Shotgun coming out from Hiko to be able to get 2 of those frags before he goes down. And that is going to make it 7-1 in favor of Team Elevate.
Yeah, Skadoodle really powerful with that op, brushing it off here. He is one of the top fraggers for his team right now, tied up with Desi, but they're both at 9. As we're just waiting to see what can Luminosity do here. They just seem to be, running up against the wall every single time they try to make an execution, and they're just not able to hold off retakes either. So this is those combination of things. You got to find one of those 2 to be able to win a round. And so far, just not clicking as they look to rush Banana yet again. Roka throwing off some nice pop flashes here from the sandbags, and Hiko for support with the nade. Gonna do a little bit of damage, not really enough to mention, as we're just waiting to see if Luminosity will continue to press through this or not.
Yeah, that was a good counter right there at the top of the Banana to shut down that rush. They were going full tilt for it, but they weren't able to make it happen because of the counter utility nades that we saw coming from Elevate. So they're going to try and wrap this backwards and possibly work up mid. As you can see, Desi eats that flashbang right there. It's not really going to matter much. And the rush is pushed so far into the apartments right now as Skadoodle still working that op angle, getting ready from the arch side in case anybody's going to come up.
Yeah, they have a molly on it right now as Rush inside the bedroom, able to take down Lex, so finally a kill going off here. Arya trying to come up to see if he can get the trade. He will get it, but Desi tries to collect the frag, trying to push window, trying to trade back, cannot do it. And so LG is going to have the advantage here, but Skadoodle is still going to be holding this truck side with the op inside the pit, able to get the pick on Flom, looking to see if he can find someone else, and he will. That's the bomb carrier down, now flipping his adjustment towards the apartments as Anger's the last man left in a 1-on-3, and Sky will find that too, and he has just been absolutely on point with the op this game. I think he's already at 12 kills in 9 rounds, so great job.
Yeah, Skadoodle's op right now is absolutely on fire. And the deceptive thing about this score right now, 8-1, but these rounds are getting down low. I mean, they're getting close. They're turning into 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, and the situations just end up favoring Elevate. So score a little deceptive. It is a close game, but those rounds, when it comes down to the post-plant holds, Elevate is able to take the sites, and Luminosity can't get that hold.
Yeah, and Luminosity once again forced to save here, and Scott once again opening up the round here at B with that op. So he's looking for another one here, just kind of playing this car. Will step out and finds another. And his accuracy this game has just been so on point. He's not missing very many. Does miss right there, though, but Roka cleans it up with the nade. So Luminosity looking to walk away from this round with a 9-1 deficit. And we'll see if they can't figure something out. They need it too soon.
Yeah, round 10, all Elevate so far. Lex and Anger left alive with pistols here. As we see, Lex tries to step out into mid. Hiko with an AK will get that frag, though. So Anger, 1v5. He's got himself a P250. Oh, that Molotov lands right at his feet. Doesn't do much, or actually it only does 6 damage, excuse me, but he's able to back out of it, and he's kind of in a tough spot now. They've pushed all the way down Banana. They know he has to be somewhere in this direction, alt mid or in the apartments, so he doesn't really have much to work with here. He does have the bomb in his back. Gets seen right there by Hiko, and that closes down the round. 2K for Hiko, 2K for Skadoodle, and as Dust said, 9-1 will be the score.
You know, I was kind of concerned about this Mac fit from Luminosity. Like I said, they claim they've worked on it a lot, but their results have just been kind of poor on it lately between, losing to Elevate during the regular season, losing to Nihilum during playoffs, and losing in that recent Alienware event to Liquid on the map. And, we were talking about Arya as the in-game leader. Has he been able to instill something on this team, on this map, to make them feel comfortable even with poor results? And so far, the ends are not justifying the means here. They're not producing anything, as we have Skadoodle once again here at the car with the op. Frost tries to take the peek but doesn't get it. Meanwhile, Roka's collected a couple of frags on the other side of the map, but Arya is able to at least make a bit of trade here, as it is going to be a 3 versus 4. Make that a 4 on 2. Another Nako comes in from Rush.
Yeah, Frost and Anger left alive. It will be an op and an AK versus 2 silenced M4s, 1 AK, and a op in the hands of Skadoodle. And it looks like they might try and wrap this back towards the banana. Not getting too aggressive yet. I'm going to be curious at what point they decide in this round that they just want to go back and try and save these rifles. If they can't find a frag really quick here, I imagine it's going to turn into a save.
Yeah, it seems like Frost is seeing if he can't try to get some type of engagement with Skadoodle at banana, but Skadoodle is just, playing more passive angles. He's not going to give up a free pick because he's the only guy left at B. So if he does, that could actually be a bomb plant, and all of a sudden you give up. What a huge advantage, and actually give Luminosity a post-plant situation they have odds to win. As we see Frost now currently tracking with this op through the mid. He's got Anger right next to him. It seems like they're going to try to make a play here on this truck side, but Rush is going to be inside the pit with the M4. Hiko also inside the site, just waiting with the AK. Rush catches one. Hiko catches the other with some help. And there you have it. Elevate up 10-1, and so far this has just been a landslide from Elevate.
Yeah, round 12, getting into it now. Score will be 10-1, as Dust just said. Elevate playing very well as CTs. It's not something that we shouldn't expect, though. It is a CT-sided map. You should expect to get double-digit rounds as a CT, but it's up to Luminosity here to, I would say, at least grab 4 rounds. Yeah. I mean, that would be
especially
big.
When it's your pick,
yeah,
and you feel confident on it. Skadoodle's now going to be at mid with the op and gets the pick onto Frost. So Skadoodle just all over the place with this op, getting picks at banana, now shifting it over to mid. And he has been getting those opening picks so often, just all across the map. They can't seem to pin him down and figure out what he's going to do next. As once again, they're getting held up at the first level of mid. Arya able to get 1 kill there. Rush trades it right back.
Getting shut down right there. Rush eventually gets him, and Rush will also get Flom, so he's able to get himself that 2K and shut down anything going on in mid, but it will force CTs over towards that A bomb site, and it's going to leave Hiko all by himself. Smoke goes out. He tries to commit to it. There is a smoke in the way of Luminosity Gaming from being able to take that easily, and they're worried where Hiko might be. Tries to step over the top, up onto the barbecue. Arya will take him down as he's up on top of the cart, and now Rush has already worked his way into the site. From CT spawn will be Desi, and there's only 1 player left at that A bomb site, and that's going to be Skadoodle. They have more than enough time on the board right now to rotate back to A, and it looks like they're going for it.
Yeah, it looks like they are backtracking back here through mid to get, like you said, to that A site, but Desi has also started rotating back around towards the arch side to be here at Moto with Skadoodle. So, I mean, LG has actually still got a little bit of a smoke here at mid, as they are going to have to kind of walk through it, and they will. Skadoodle waiting from here at the closet with the op, finds the pick onto Arya. It comes out and grabs Anger, and Skadoodle is just racking up the kills with that op right now, as he's just been doing great for them all across the map.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday when we first saw Skadoodle, we were kind of talking about he's not really playing like himself yet. He ended up heating up towards the end of that match, but right now Skadoodle is playing like Skadoodle that we've seen months ago when he was still rolling with high power. I mean, this is typical Skadoodle right now. Yep. The op is going hot in the streets, and he's getting tons of frags with it.
Yeah, definitely. As Luminosity needs to win a round now, they really need to win out to have any type of chance, I think. And Frost will finally catch Skadoodle, so finally a silver lining here for Luminosity, as they've been struggling a lot, but Rush getting aggressive in the apartments, looking for the trade. He'll find the bomb carrier, and Desi right there to back him up for the trade again. Great work, and he's able to fall back. Though he does have low HP and has to kind of give the bomb back here, but at least he's, kept it close in these 3 versus 3s. And honestly, Elevate has been winning all but one of these small number of situations so far this half, so they'll take those trades all day.
Yeah, Flom almost getting caught right there, trying to cross over. Hiko will take down Frost. Desi in the pit will remove Flom. So now it's all up to Lex. Last man standing. He's going to be 1v2. Both of these players that he was looking at now are going to be low on HP. Desi's down to 8. Hiko's down to 10. This is a very manageable round for him. I mean, he's down to 29 himself, so he's not in the best of shape. But what have we got? Utility in his hands. He is able to throw a Molotov to prevent any of those CTs rotating. It's all going to be about this peek out of the balcony. Both players in that direction of mid. One is going to be underneath the balcony.
Hiko not paying attention. Oh, Desi not paying attention. Ooh. I don't know if they'll hear him drop to pit. Yeah. So
Desi's ready for it. He's looking. Yeah, here comes the rotate back. He's going to get the first frag. Now he's going to try and get the plant down, but Hiko is moving in that direction. He's going to step out. No! Can Lex get away? Gets away initially. Time is ticking down, though. Only about 17 seconds left. Throws the Molotov, and that could be it right there if Hiko can't get away from it, but he does. Still 1 versus 1. Hiko wraps around and prevents the bomb plant and secures a 12th round for Team Elevate.
Yeah, Frost trying to come up, or excuse me, Lex trying to come up again with a big clutch there and threw that molly. Thought that was going to be enough to either kill Hiko or at least hold him off from sweeping around the lane, but unfortunately just a good timing from Hiko, able to get around it before it blooms and basically get Lex planning to keep it now at 12-1. This is just really awful for Luminosity. After having a tough day yesterday against, Nihilum and taking some one-side losses there, they were hoping to try to turn things around today, but so far they have not been able to tap into that goal here, as it's just been Elevate sweeping through this whole game, an avalanche, if you will.
Frost with that shot right there onto Roka, up the banana, hits the one tap, drops him down. He was definitely looking to hope that, or he was definitely hoping that was Skadoodle's head that popped out behind the car, but it was Roka. So they get that one player advantage now. Opening pick goes in there to their favor, which is going to be huge for them. I mean, they could still make this a 12-3 half, which isn't the greatest in the world, but 3 rounds gives you a little play here. As you switch to CT side, it should be your stronger side. If they get a pistol right off the bat, they set themselves up to collect a few more rounds and get a little bit more of a buffer.
Yeah, we'll see Luminosity actually gathering up here for a B hit. Hiko's still going to be playing in this dark corner area. He'll step out. He spots some people. He's going to throw that into the air. He steps out. He will get caught by Lex, so the bomb's definitely going to get planted here. In fact, we have Frost, who's actually slipped through main. Will Desi pick up on this? Yes, he will. He gets the kill. Frost not getting it, but Lex through the smoke will find it anyhow, and it is now a 4 versus 2 in favor of Luminosity Gaming. This is the best chance they've had at winning a round, except for that clutch from Lex earlier here, as it looks like Rush and Skadoodle still looking for the retake. Rush flashing himself through construction. Will find the kill onto Flom. Hopefully LG will not give this up. They can't afford to, as the Molly will flush out Lex, but he still gets the kill anyway. Skadoodle missing an outshot there through main, and Lex will catch him. And Lex, man, he's actually been the main guy helping them win the 2 rounds they've gotten.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a 4K right there. The first round that they got, it was off an ace. That round was a 4K, and Lex is stepping up right now. Their team needs that. If they can continue with the momentum that Lex is helping them build here, I mean, he's 11-12. The closest teammate is what? I believe it's Arya with 7 frags right now. So Lex is stepping up gigantic here for Luminosity as we hit the last round of the half. Score is 12-2. If Luminosity can make it 12-3, the momentum is shifting back in their favor, going to CT side. And like I said, off a pistol round win, that would be huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that Luminosity have to do to get back in this game. There's definitely a checklist of items that they're going to have to mark off along the way to see if they can't get there. But that first step is trying to at least win out this half, winning that last round, hopefully winning this one. And like you said, the pistol will be the next one on the list. As we are coming into, the last minute of this round. No real damage done except for Skadoodle eating a little bit there at Banana, as Luminosity once again kind of just doing this slow play at apartment, seeing if they can't get some mid control.
That's going to be a flashbang coming out. Let's see if they get aggressive with it. No, not really going to force the issue too hard. Here it comes. Now they're going to work their way out. Lex with a prime shot there. Couldn't collect the frag on the Desi. Molotov drops back down. Anger is right there to try and work his way out of that boiler room. So it's still going to be a 5-on-5, but they're going to send one player up Banana. Let's see if that number's... Oh, Frost wasn't able to do it. Roka playing tight on the Banana up top, was able to get the frag onto him. That makes it a 5-on-4 in favor of Elevate.
Yes, Rush is going to be here at the arches. They're going to try to press through this corner. Rush will take some shots and falls back intelligently here, not wanting to give up any types of picks right now, as they do have that man advantage, as we see Luminosity trying to come up the moto here, but Rush is going to be in the library behind the fire, trying to fit some shots and able to get the kill onto Anger, as Luminosity is at a man disadvantage. Hiko been inside the pit the whole time, able to continue getting the advantage for his team. Rush comes in and catches Arya right after the plant, and now Flom has to close out a 1 versus 4 in the last round of the half, hiding inside the graveyard. He's going to step out. He finds the diffuser. They're jumping up top on graveyard, but he's so pinned in, but he's getting some kills, but just can't get them all. There was just too many left. And so another defuse comes in for Elevate, as they will take the half 13-2. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a rough half right there. I mean, it's not as bad as it could have been here if you're Luminosity. You still have those 2 rounds, but this pistol round, they have to get the W off the pistol. Otherwise, we're going to run into a situation where, like we saw with CLG, I mean, they're at that 14th round, and then if Luminosity can't get a second round off an early buy or a force buy, the game is going to be done at that point.
Yeah, take a look at the stats here. You see Skadoodle was the top fragger there, all over the place with that op. He was picking down car at Banana. He was picking mid at times, and he was just being an absolute terror for Luminosity, trying to find entries, and it was Skadoodle getting the majority of them there. And pretty much their frag distribution's pretty tight across Elevate. I mean, everyone was holding their positions. Desi and Rush being aggressive in the apartments at times, or holding down the pit area. So just good play there. And from Luminosity, like I said, short of those clutch plays from Lex, the quad kill round in the post plan at B, and then long ago when he got that ace in the early part of the half, that round number 6, there just wasn't much to talk about.
Yeah, man, it was just rough. Lex came up huge with the 5K, the ace, and then the 4K was their second round. So both 2 rounds that they have are just off the shoulders of Lex right now.
Yeah.
And if that's what needs to happen, then it needs to happen. Lex needs to step up again here in this pistol round to ensure that they can get another round in their favor and get that money train rolling, because that pistol round is unbelievably important right now if you're Luminosity.
Well, I think the scary thing to think about is this, not to take away from Lex, but that's not the guy, if you're Luminosity, that you expect to be leading the charge. You're expecting guys like Flom, you know, with the op or his aggressive nature to be getting you entries. You're expecting Anger to really perform. And that's they're 2 really key fraggers, at least in most of their online play, and neither one have had a good event so far.
Yeah, it's just been a rough go of things, but now we're into second half here. We're going to be into that round 16, second pistol round of the game. As we talked about, Luminosity has to get this. They are our CT side, though. It's going to be a 3-man stack at the top of Banana. Throw that Molotov down there to force anybody from Elevate backwards, not let them try and take that Banana early and concede some map control. But Elevate will work their way into the apartments here. One already down really close to the boiler room, and it's going to be a double pit play coming from Luminosity.
Yeah, and this is a very strong CT setup on Inferno to get this double pit, but we are going to see Elevate avoid that, take a detour here around the arch side, and Luminosity needs to win this pistol, but Elevate pitching around. Yeah, Rush able to get the kill there onto the pit player. Roka also finding one, and Elevate just absolutely crushing the dreams of Luminosity to try to make a comeback in this map. It's only Anger and Lex left, and they don't have a whole lot to work with here. Anger does have that P2K and armor, but they're in a 2 versus 5, and they're already just getting blitzed. Hiko finding Lex already at the arch. Hiko continuing to do the damage here to Anger, and Hiko closes out the round there. 2 kills total. Everyone else getting a piece except for Desi, actually. And now, with it being 14-2, I mean, it would be a miracle if Luminosity finds their way back at this point.
Yeah, there's going to be a huge gun advantage coming from Elevate at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go directly into AKs, and we see 2 AKs coming out, a Scout, and then some MPs coming. So they're not fully committing all their economy to it. I mean, they could have just gone all the way into AKs to just try and secure that 15th round right off the bat here, but they're in a good position. Luminosity on their heels right now. They did a pistol armor buy, except for Frost. Wasn't able to go with armor because he bought those utility grenades there, and Lex only able to use body armor because he bought that smoke that he just dropped at the top of Banana. He's working through it right now. Can he make something happen? Rush was all over it at the car. Now Anger inside the B-bomb site. Last line of defense. He goes down, and that's going to be a 4-man walk-in into that B-bomb site.
Yeah, Frost was just like, whatever at this point. You got to wonder if Lex really should have did that. I mean, I guess you figure you got to make a crazy play to try to get back in this game, but run through a smoke there, just kind of suicide, and then you let the other player stranded at B just for some easy pickings there for Rush. And so this is going to be now game point for Elevate. Luminosity will have to just grab whatever they can scrap together, but it's not going to be a whole lot. I mean, it's looking like 16-2 is pretty likely. That's going to be really tough for Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to go back and save. They're going to try and keep these pistols for the next round, possibly get some body armor onto Frost, see what Lex and Anger's economy is going to look like after this round is over. But that's a lock up there if you're Team Elevate. That's 15 rounds. You're guaranteed at least overtime now, even if you lose out from here, and you're still going to fight. Oh, Frost making a nice deagle shot right there to keep his gun, and you can see the smile on the face there of Roka on the other side of things, though, with Luminosity. Very serious right now. They don't want this to happen, but it's looking like it's getting to the point where we're going to have 16-2, and it's about time to start worrying about that second map, because this is best of 3. Yeah. So if you get on that second map and force.
This is the most one-sided map we've seen so far this tournament, if it does wind up ending 16-2 like that. So a little bit unfortunate. The next map is going to be Cash, and we did see Elevate struggling on CT side on that map yesterday. However, we did also see the Luminosity struggle on their game against Nihilum, and they wound up losing that map in a pretty one-sided fashion. So it's kind of hard to measure exactly where these 2 teams are going to stand on that map, but it's a must-win for Luminosity if they want to avoid getting eliminated from this tournament. We're already in the lower bracket, so loser goes home here, as they do get the initial kill in this round. So they have an early 5 versus 4 at the very least, but like I said, still a mountain to climb. Elevate's mountain, the one on their logo.
That's that's gonna be rough.
That was the worst joke.
Flom is able to pick up that AK, though, so that dropped rifle goes into the hands of Luminosity Gaming. That's going to help them. Frost down to 63 HP, Flom down to 43, and it's going to be an execute up mid. 2 players already walked their way up arch side. They just kind of went up there with no utility at all, just walked their way in. Luminosity backing up towards the A-bomb site. They're getting very defensive here. Frost is going to be playing the corner with the Deagle, and Rush will take him down, and that's going to even things out at a 4-on-4 here. The rifle is still in the hands, though, of Luminosity. Now Lex is out of the way, too. Anger is going to be the last one left alive on the rotate from the B-bomb site. He's going to have to 1 versus 4 with a 5-7 and head armor here to be able to get this round, and this would be absolutely insane if he could get a 1 versus 4 to keep his team alive in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. I don't think anyone out there does. Ripperonis Anger. I mean, sorry, bud, but he doesn't get that
Starts
first kill on
off.
the rush. That's the first step.
Ooh.
Hiko will meet him with the headshot right there at the end. So 16-2. Like I said, the most one-sided map we've seen so far this tournament. Elevate absolutely crushes Luminosity's pick. That has to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you make that pick, you're confident on that map, you want to continue, or you want to start it off with a map win right off the bat. Doesn't go in your favor, though, so now we're going to work our way towards map number 2, and that's going to be Cash, which, I mean, Luminosity will get their side choice on Cash, which is going to help out a ton.
Right.
But, man, Elevate right now is playing insane. Skadoodle is opping extremely well right now. As you can see, he's got 18 frags. Rush stepped up huge with 22. Hiko, the other stand-in, already with 19 frags. Roka at 13. Desi with 12. I mean, on the other side of things, Lex went up to 11, and 5 of those frags were from 1 round.
Then 4 were from another.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 9 kills in 2 rounds, basically, and that's the only 2 rounds that they were able to win. And that's not the guy you expect to be top fragging anyway. You need some of those other, supposed star players like Anger, like Flom, those guys that they really rely on for fragging, and it wasn't there. I mean, and I'm not going to scapegoat a player. It was just overall they weren't really doing what you would think they would when they're comfortable enough to pick the map.
Yeah, I expected it to go a little differently than that, but it didn't work out in their favor. So now they got to focus up and get ready for map number 2, which is going to be Cash. And we're going to send it down to our analyst desk and see what they think about that.
They close with the fist bump. We got to open with one over here. All right.
Boom.
Thanks,
no exploding,
guys.
though.
Yeah,
That's
no,
corny.
no explosion. That's too much. Well, so 13-2 was the first half. Elevate starting on CT. Not really a surprise because we just saw 2 13-2 halves, so like you almost really expected that. And since there has been so many comebacks and mounted comebacks that have failed, Elevate, having one of those themselves against CLG, I really did think Luminosity was going to be able to mount a comeback. I wasn't really sure if they were going to be able to complete it, but in the end, not able to get that pistol round, and that's really the big thing there. They couldn't do anything when they had CT side. And they did lose it 16-2, and I'm glad they finished off saying like that was the shortest game we've had. The previous one was Nihilum beating Luminosity 16-7 on Cash.
Yeah, and once again, that's Luminosity failing to get another pistol round. They spent the last 2 maps not being able to get pistol rounds. I think only winning 1 yesterday versus Nihilum, so that's a pretty big failure in itself. And unfortunately for them, they weren't even able to pull off the eco. So overall, it was pretty much a disaster for Luminosity. Now, they went through the same problems that they did yesterday. We saw on the opportunity for a first buy round, it came down to a 2v2 retake, which Hiko and Roka ended up winning for their team. And then their economy was destroyed. And that's exactly how they started off last map. And in these early rounds, right, we saw a lot of 2v2s, we saw a lot of 1v1s. But the thing is, Hiko won 2 rounds for himself. Skadoodle had that 1D 1v1 versus Flom. And the only round won on the 5th round was Lex getting an ace for his team and winning a 1v1 versus Roka. So that was huge, a huge play that could kind of reinvigorate your team. But right after that, it came down to a 2v2, and the retake was won by Elevate once again. So that's just a disaster after another, and they face these same problems, right? The themes that kept repeating themselves were the economy getting destroyed, pistols being lost, right, and not putting these ops to good use. We saw Skadoodle, what was he at, 12 frags?
Yeah, I got
Frost
the op
had not hit a
stats
single
here.
op shot by then.
Skadoodle had 12 op kills of his total 18.
Yeah.
And all his other kills, didn't use another rifle. They were just all from other pistols. Maybe there was like an SMG in there somewhere. I tried to look through as best I could, but if anything, there's 1 or 2 missing kills. But the op was online.
Yeah.
And then we've got Frost, who picked up the op once. He got 1, assist
One
with the op. That's
assist,
it.
wow.
0 kills. So that was 22.5 average damage around with the op. Although only 2, he only had the chance, like the economy was never in a place on T side where they could use it. He only had a chance to use it twice in the whole game.
Yeah.
Whereas Skadoodle had it for 10 rounds.
Yeah. As the rounds progressed as well, we saw those 2v2s and 1v1s happen a lot early on. Towards the end, there were a couple as well. But after the first few rounds had blown over, the economy got destroyed for Luminosity, which is pretty unfortunate, losing those important rounds. We saw the rounds start to run away with Elevate. They were winning rounds 4 alive, 5 alive, and just dominating. I think it was around the 10-1 mark that we saw kind of like all hope being lost for them as a team as Elevate started to get more situated and grounded. And I think that's when their chance really left the building for Luminosity to get back into the game, even though it was just on the T side. Losing that second pistol is a nail in the coffin, but we saw Nihilum lose a pistol and then eco on when CLG had 14 rounds and then stage a comeback.
Yeah.
In the situation, 2 pistols lost, no ecos won.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know you pointed out there was the ace that was round 6 that they won. That was Lex. Lex really carried them in the 2 rounds that they won. Like they were the Lex show for those 2 rounds.
Right.
He had 0 kills going up to round 6, where he got the ace and then had a 1v1 clutch situation, which he then won.
Yeah.
And then, like you talked about, how many close one-on-one matches or rounds there were around round 6. Where we also had that amazing Skadoodle 1D as a player jumped up on the box.
Yeah, Flom had potential to win that round. He jumped up on the box, got a really nice headshot. I mean, he shot a couple bullets, but it was a one-tap. And then jumped up one more time, and Skadoodle was just waiting, looking at his head. So that was just beautiful. And yeah, the huge individual. I mean, when Skadoodle was opping, he was getting 3 kills a round. Like, I think there was at least 4 rounds where he got 3 kills in each round. Those are rounds by himself. He was hitting flick shots with a hit rate that we're not used to seeing. I mean, that's like above and beyond, you know?
Yeah. All right, guys, so our predictions at the start were if Elevate get that first map, they'd probably take the 2-0.
Yeah.
But, of course, we'd love to see the 3rd map and, some new maps here. We've got Inferno now twice. Maybe we'll see Season if Luminosity can on Cash, which was actually Elevate's pick. So maybe they can upset them on Elevate's map, but it's definitely going to be tough. That's coming up next. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, though, so stay tuned. You're watching the CEVO Season 6 LAN on MLG.TV.